I was talking all that time. Do you know what's so funny, right? Before I came on here, my guide said to me, remember to unmute yourself. I was like, yeah, who's not going to do that? I can't be that stupid. But here I go, proving them right. Hashtag that part, right? The snap. You know, sometimes when you get those intuitive hits and you still choose to ignore it. I am taking limited. I'm doing good, guys. Hey, y'all. Hey. I missed y'all. It's been interesting the last few weeks, just kind of recuperating and sort of getting back into just being healthy again, I guess. Feeling like myself, feeling like I'm present because it was tricky at times. But I'm doing much better now. I'm still a little bit fragile, I'd say. I'm still a little bit fragile. So y'all are going to have to bear with me tonight. I am going to close the list out at 10 because I see y'all done got yourselves organized. We love organization. Okay. Snaps for that. We love that. However, things have moved hella quickly. Let me see the list. I think the list is closed. That's it. List is closed. I'm sure that's 10 people, unless my eyes are deceiving me. I think that's 10 people on the list, right? And that was like 5 minutes ago. So let me see. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Church has started. Okay. That's it. We closing everything out. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Recovery is going interestingly. I'm learning so much about myself, y'all. I'm learning so much about new me, new life. These new vibrations have been interesting. Thank you. I cleansed it. Listen, y'all didn't want to feel my energy in the last few weeks. It's been funky energy, okay? It's been healing energy. I've been transitioning with these new vibrations with my body. So it's been an interesting trip, y'all. We are going to go and dive into I really did miss y'all. I feel like getting back into doing my little readings is, again, just another step in getting back to myself, okay? I actually love coming in here just as much as you guys like having me. It keeps me feeling normal. It makes me feel like myself. Is it 9 people? Is it 9 people? Did my eyes deceive me here? Okay, let me see. Let me count. Oh no, okay. It is 9 people. There's room for one more person. The guide said to me 10. Okay, we're gonna keep the list at 10. We've been trying that. Yes, yeah, thank you. Look at you coming in, doing the math, getting that universal digit accurate. We love that. Okay. It's gonna be interesting to see what you guys have to say tonight. So we are gonna go and dive into it, y'all. Gypsy, hit me. Let's see what we've got for tonight. What's your question? Let's unpack some stuff. All good, thank you. I did say, I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me when I looked at it. Okay, because my anxiety might be playing games, thinking that the list is like moving quicker than I can see. So, you know, these things happen, but I'm glad that you were here to correct. Okay, we need that. Leo. Interesting times, Gypsy. Interesting times. We'll start with the romance cards, they said. We'll start with the romance cards and clarify anything we need to sort of clarify accordingly. All right, guys. Gypsy wants to know Leo's feelings towards her. Okay. So it seems like there's like a few things going on in the stratosphere of you guys' romantic dynamic. Seems like someone's kind of like withdrawn a little bit in terms of like communicating and the attraction dynamic. It's still kind of like open air, but it's almost a little bit like reserved feelings is what I'm getting with the situation. So we're going to unpack that. Okay, we want to know more. Okay. Gathered that much. Talk about stating the obvious, right? I'm unpacking the cards. Hold on, guys. Clarify this for me then, guys. We know that much. Like, come on. You know we want to get like the tea. We don't just want a tea bag. We want like the whole juice. Fix us a nice little nightcap. Okay, come on. Clarify. What does that mean? Like, put it into context for me, because I gathered that much. I understand that there's, okay, thank you. Oh, it's a whole story. It's a whole story, Gypsy. Okay. Sorry, I'm like unpacking the story because sometimes you got to dive into it. Okay. Dang. I'm like making room for all these cards because there's like a whole story to tell with it. This is why, yeah, sometimes when they say stuff, you got to ask questions because sometimes they leave you at cliffhangers and you're like, brr. You're having a Scooby-Doo moment. Okay, you're like, say what? Right. So interesting. Just to sort of clarify, Gypsy, what they were sort of like putting across is that the career situation is really sort of taking away from being able to put energy into the romantic space. So in terms of the romantic side of things, it's kind of like healing family issues is what they said through the romance card. So I unpacked that with the tarot. Just looking at what exactly oh, good. I like you too, Rika. So what they've got going on with the family issues dynamic, right? Because again, this is affecting their family issues, is affecting their career choices. There's a lot of financial responsibilities that needs to be evaluated. I guess that's the season that's kind of like being looked at the minute. And there may be certain things that aren't necessarily being communicated. So I'm gonna check the whole story that you got going on over here in the tarot, and really break it down in terms of what they're saying. Bear with me, because there's a whole picture, y'all. There's like a whole process to it. Okay. So his feelings on the situation is that there's a lack of closure with this. Let me know if this is a third party situation, because they're showing me something on the cards about persevering beyond deception regarding third party situations. And again, family dynamics may also be considered. So there may be like people within the family dynamics that may not support the decision of you guys being able to sort of come together and stuff like that as well. So those things can sometimes be factor, but they're actually at a place where they're kind of the best way that I can put it, it feels like they're kind of pulling back their energy. They're kind of feeling like there's a lack of closure with certain situations that you guys have been navigating through. And by the looks of it as well, it feels like there's a lack of focus when it comes to this situation, and there may be some regrets about that. But at the same time, there's still certain things that just can't necessarily be done at the minute. So it's a tricky situation. I think that they want to be able to sort of like give more to the situation, like in terms of like the romance side of things, but they're just not at a place where they can fully plan ahead, because things are a little bit tricky in terms of the finance side of things at the minute. It feels like that's mainly the thing that's kind of like taking their focus away from the space right now. What's the guidance? What's the guidance for Gypsy? Love, you can, yeah, you can donate Cashapp or PayPal. Let's, okay. Okay, so the guidance for you in the situation, Gypsy, is to be assertive on the situation. So be assertive. The outcome of the situation is that you're actually ready to be assertive. This dynamic isn't necessarily working for you. What's going on here isn't working for you. Being assertive doesn't necessarily mean aggressive. It just means be direct. So you may be, I wouldn't say settling, but you may almost be substituting. There are things that you kind of want in the dynamic that you're not necessarily getting, and you're almost kind of putting up and shutting up, for lack of a better way of putting it, because they're sort of like showing me that it sometimes like plays on the mind a little bit about some of these needs that aren't necessarily being met. So they're saying with the dynamics that you're navigating through right now, it's kind of like time for you to be able to kind of just really assert a little bit more about what it is that you need in the situation, because you're not all the way clear as well. I think that they might do some good in being able to get some guidance on how to be able to juggle both romance as well as sort of financial pressures that they're navigating through at the minute. I just don't think that they, Mr. Leo, is all the way clear, and it's not necessarily something that they're able to see, because they just kind of lack focus at the minute. So you need to be a little bit more assertive about what you need with the situation, because as they're going through like this healing of their family dynamics and kind of like, I guess, getting a little bit, this is like a little detour, the way that I'm seeing it. This is a career detour for them. And Spirit is almost kind of giving them an opportunity to be able to make a better decision that's going to really, how can I put it? At the minute, they get easily bored. That's probably the best way that I can put it. They seem to get easily bored. So Spirit's trying to direct their energy in a way where they're able to kind of like get passionate about the things that they're doing career-wise. So this little detour that you guys are kind of like navigating through at the minute, you kind of need to be a little bit more assertive about what needs to be done in the situation. I don't think that they are, I'm checking, don't worry, love, I'm checking. Literally, love. I love that, by the way. I don't think that they are like all the way clear about what it is that they can do or bring to the table at the minute, to be fair, just because their focus is off. So you have to be a little bit more clear and direct in terms of what it is that you need with the situation, and kind of, I guess, guide the ship from the co-captain measure, but really you're captaining the ship type thing, because things right now, in their perspective, they just lack complete focus on the situation. Okay, my love. Thank you, Gypsy. Thank you for stopping into this space. And I hope that that was useful for you. Okay. Right. So we are going to, I'm going to check for love. I'm going to check for love and see what we've got going on here as well. Bear with me, guys. Sorry, I should have really had this up, but I really just kind of came into the space just to hang out with you guys. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I appreciate being able to stop into the space for you guys. I actually really missed it. Like I said, it's been interesting downtime. So We're gonna go. Sorry, I'm like literally trying to confirm stuff. I'm glad to be back, Mina. I'm glad. Thank you guys as well. Like Mina reached out to me whilst I was away just to kind of like check in. I really appreciated that. It's like, yes, love. Thank you. I've got it. So we're gonna go ahead per the terms. Yes, you can drop your question, love. Per the terms, you get to, I guess, jump the queue a little bit. I never actually expect people to think, but I guess because the free list is closed, we kind of dive in. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Mina. That's what's up. Okay. Okay, love. Give us your question. We'll go and unpack it for you and see what the guys have to say. That's an interesting photo as well. Yeah, go for your question. Put it in the chat. While you type away. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna unpack that because that's questions. Listen, when you ask the guys questions like that, you're bound to get riddles. Okay, that's the way they work on their side. So I'm gonna unpack that for you. I'm gonna unpack that in two parts. I'm actually going to look at their feelings towards you versus their feelings towards Caleb to get an understanding of where the dynamics are with the situation. Thank you. Thank you guys. Oh, look at you guys making friends. No, I am. I am going to give you details about that. And if they meet each other. Okay, don't worry. Don't worry. I got you. Okay, so Love wants to know about, is it UF? Love wants to know US. Okay. Okay. Feelings towards Kayla. This is what we're working with, right? Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Feelings towards love. Okay, Yusuf. Okay. Yusuf. Yusuf's feelings towards love. Okay, thank you. Look at that. Look how you guys just singing. Okay. Okay. So I can get more room. Sometimes there's so much going on. Okay. And this is, oh, thank you, love. I appreciate you. I like to smile. That's why I needed to come into the room today. I'm like, look, I need to like get my nice little bubbly personality out here so I can like express that person a little bit more. So what I'm seeing with the situation, right? There's quite a bit going on here. So their feelings towards Kyla, is it? Their feelings towards Kyla. She seems to be, I want to call it a rebound situation. Yeah, I want to call it a rebound situation. Their feelings towards you is like they're not able to sort of see a long-term sort of vision with the situation. They're not necessarily like sitting down planning their whole future, I guess, with you in terms of that dynamic. But the dynamic with Kyla seems to be I want to say a casual situation at the minute. Yeah, it seems to be a casual situation, like a little bit of a rebound situation. I want to sort of unpack the space a little bit. So Love wants to know, right? We're in different country, me and Yusuf. And okay. Yeah. That seems to be, that's probably why they're not able to sort of, I guess, look at things as far as like a long-term perspective with you because of the distance dynamics on the situation. They're kind of holding off on, I want to say they're holding off on communication a little bit, from what I can see. And it seems like there's a little bit of an imbalance with the situation that they're not all the way clear about. I think I'm going to say this, love. I think you might be investing a little bit more feelings into this space than they are at the minute. I'm going to say that much because that's how I'm feeling the energy. I think with the situation with Kyla, clarify this for me. Show me, guys. Thank you. I want to get it from the romance perspective, right? Yeah. So the situation, sorry, let me go down and see what you're saying in the chat as well, if there's any. But she moved to his country. Yeah, the situation, I don't know if there's something going to be with him and her. I see her on his Instagram. I don't know if they meet. She moved towards his country. This is the thing. I'm gonna say this. I don't think that it's, I think for him it's casual at the minute. I don't think that they're in anything like too serious. I don't think that they've established if there's actually something there just yet. I do think that there's some chemistry and passion with the situation. So this is more like physical chemistry, I guess. This is more about physical chemistry, and that's kind of like the perspective, I guess, that he's coming from with the situation. And I don't know if he's all the way sort of like attracted to her. And when I say attracted to her, so what do I mean? I mean that there are some things about her personality that is, I guess it irks his spirit. That's the best way that I can put it. He like, it's silent on the inside because I can tell that he gets a little bit like irritated when she does certain things because her personality can be a little bit, I want to say ditzy, sometimes a little bit ditzy. I see intimacy. I do see intimacy. I see that they're kind of like leading into that sort of space. I feel like they're currently displaying intimacy behavior towards each other because they, I guess, like have a chemistry. And when I say have a chemistry, he's kind of thinking with that head. To be honest with you, because there isn't like an actual attraction to her personality, but there's a physical attraction to the physical appearance, if you will. So I think that that's what's kind of leading the situation, which means that he doesn't necessarily have the capacity or the time to really put into the space, I guess, to seed anything with you. Clarify this card for us, guys. Well, this is what we're going to kind of unravel, right? I don't think so. This is the thing. I don't think that he likes her personality. He likes your personality better than hers. But she's convenience at the minute. She's convenience at the minute. And also he feels like your situation's a little bit complicated as well. So that's, I guess, a part of why he's not necessarily putting as much energy into the space. I think he likes your personality, but I think he's physically attracted to her and she's kind of there and it's present and available, to be fair with you. So that's the dynamic. I think he likes you guys for different reasons, and this is why I wanted to unpack it. Yes, that's what he likes. I just have to say that. Yes, that's what he likes. So what do I mean by that? I mean that he appreciates the little things, I guess. She kind of like strokes his ego as well. So the physical appearance, right? People get like physically more attractive when they do certain things to meet certain expectations. So I think he's into that. He's into that. What's wrong with that, love? He's into that. I think yeah, I think that there's an attraction there, and that is something that he's into. I think he's curious. I don't know if he knows if he's all the way into it, but I think he's curious. He's curious. He's curious. Okay. He's curious. Okay. What on physical he like? So from what I can see with the situation, it's kind of like she's flirtatious. She's kind of like, how can I put it? There's a natural flirtation, sort of like chemistry with lots of innuendos back and forth and stuff like that. So I think it's more a case of him being led by his curiosity about potentially like what some of these things that are being said could mean and what it could lead to. I don't think that he himself has any intention for anything long term on the situation. I don't think that she's kind of like looking at the minute at anything long term, or so she says anyways, at anything long term, but they're just kind of like rolling with the punches. I do think that he likes your personality and there's an attraction with you as well. I just think that he feels like the situation's far too complicated. Yeah. Sorry, love. I hope that was useful for you though. That's why I said that I needed to unpack it, because these types of dynamics are never just as, oh, I like you more, I like you less. It's really kind of like unraveling what's going on with the situation. But I hope that was useful for you. I'll close it out with a guidance from the romance and from the angel deck. Okay. Yeah. The guidance, I guess, for you there, love. Ask your angels. Okay, I don't know if you can see the card. Ask your angels and listen to your intuition. The situation, like you feel certain things are going on, and those feelings aren't just random feelings, I guess. They're intuitive hits. So trust those feelings and kind of move accordingly. I wouldn't say rush there, because I don't think that the situation just becomes more complicated. I think it's more a case of, because what I'm seeing is you putting yourself in that situation to kind of be there. I don't know that you would naturally actually get the outcome that you're looking for straight off the bat, as far as like him choosing to be with you. Things just get hella more complicated, to be fair. So take your time when navigating through the situation, trust intuitive hits, and approach the situation by being, I guess, as open as you can be about what it is that you kind of need in the situation, and take it from there. Okay. But I hope that was useful for you. That was heavy. Hold on, y'all. I gotta shake that off. It was heavy. Because the situation is that they're already currently establishing something, I think temporarily, even if you were to sort of relocate there, that would be the situation. You would be faced with that kind of dynamic initially, and then you would have to live through that being in his presence. I don't know that he's falling in love, but he's deep in lust. I'll put it like that. Okay. Two completely different things. So he's deep in lust right now. All curiosity, my love. All curiosity. It's all curiosity. Like I said, there isn't necessarily an attraction per se in terms of like the personality and certain things. But it's just one of those things at the minute. I feel like you would have to witness certain things that you don't see right now. And I don't know if you're actually prepared for that, is what I'd say. I don't know if you're actually prepared for that. Okay. Yeah. By the looks of things, as far as the outcome with the situation, I don't think that it's a case of choosing you per se. I don't think so. I think he chooses himself, to be honest. I just have to keep it real. He chooses himself. I don't think he chooses her either. I think he chooses himself, because I don't think he's committed to either paths, be it you or her. Okay? And all I can do is apologize. I'm sorry, my love. But yeah. Yeah. No, because it's not going to last. It's not anything that's like durable. It's not going to last. It's going to fizzle eventually. This isn't a long-term situation. It's kind of like moving, coasting, and pasting. So yeah, I think there are other options. That's what they're saying. There are other options available in time. There is definitely a connection that you kind of need to work through getting it out of your hard drive and take your time with that process. But at the minute, like Yusuf is focused on Yusuf. Okay. And I don't even think Yusuf knows where he's at with all of these things that he's juggling at the minute. So Yusuf is making a mess. Whether or not you want to be a part of that mess is the question to you, my love. Okay. Right, Nina. We're gonna go and dive into your question and get back into the stuff, guys. But thank you so much, love, for kind of like stopping into the space and sharing with us. It is a heavy situation, so I understand why you needed to come and get this off your chest, girl. But yeah, it's just one of those types of situations. Yeah, and he likes to watch the story, so it's just one of those things. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go and unpack it for Mina. Mina wants to know Ashan's. Let's start off with Ashan's thoughts towards Mina. Where are Ashan's thoughts at towards Mina at the minute? Let's get some clarity on that, guys. Ashan's thoughts towards Mina. What can you tell us? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Feelings towards Mina. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to bring out another deck and unpack it. This is interesting. It's funny because like I'm getting like one cards, but it's kind of like telling as well at the same time in terms of the cards that are popping out. Yeah. I need another set of tarot to clarify this for me. Okay. That was fucking easy. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. 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 This is interesting. So I'm glad that we unpacked it in two parts. So his thought process on the situation is kind of like walking away to be able to kind of like protect himself. Because he feels like your career choice, I guess, the path that you're actually on is almost yeah, he feels like the path that you're on in terms of the career trajectory. A few factors to it. It's almost I want to say undefined. I want to say undefined because it seems like it's still a little bit, I don't want to say chaotic, it's just not structured in terms of clarity from what he sees with the situation. But also the factors towards it is like there were red flags, I guess. There were red flags that they weren't acknowledged initially, but now they're being acknowledged. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mina, right? I remember the last time that we spoke, there was something that was when, sorry, I'm like getting all of the information. It's all flowing through so quickly. It's coming through quicker than I can speak. So in the last dynamic, it was like you kind of put something out there, and then there was an interaction that kind of caused this, I guess, withdrawn behavior. That dynamic is still sort of playing out because that's kind of what's got him a little bit off focus with the situation. Yeah, the feelings, the thought process is a response to these triggered feelings about things going on in the career situation, in the career space. So it's interesting. What's dang, I feel like I feel like I'm trying to look for like another deck of cards. No, I need, okay, sorry. I'm gonna go for something else. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't think that he can handle it not as like as not friends as well anyways. Um yeah, I don't feel like he can I guess bear it. Hold on. Sorry, I'm like making room. Right, guys. What's the outcome with this situation with Asham? Thank you. We're gonna go for some guidance as well, but what's the outcome firstly with this stuff that's being navigated? You triggered him, Mina. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Listen, I don't think that I don't think he could handle being more than just friends, but I don't think he also knows how to just be a friend as well. So I think that that's going to be a tricky territory for him. So communication is going to be strange. I'm gonna say strange. It's gonna be weird AF. Okay, communication is gonna be weird. So conversations might seem a little bit off. But yeah, I don't know. I think he feels like you may be putting your career before him, and I think that that hurts his feelings. And I think that is something that I guess he's going to have to figure out how to process. What's the advice for Mina, guys? Closing out the space for Mina. What's the advice? As clearly as you can. What would you tell? I'll go. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. I get that. Family. Yeah. Yeah. Um They said it's up to you, but their advice is to trust your decision to not reconsider this. I'm sorry. That's literally okay. So the reconsider card came out in reverse. So they're telling me like that's not the energy that we need to be doing or using in this space. And they did say that it is up to you. You may go through, feelings of feeling like maybe you want to check and see what the space is like. Curiosity, sometimes we feel guilty for how like people are going to react or respond to our truth. So don't let that energy draw you back in. They're like, um, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. That's a yeah. That's a yeah. That's a peaceful resolution for him. Not necessarily wanting to kind of like come into this space because the space is going to be hella weird between you guys. So the peaceful resolution would be to watch you from afar, from a distance. Okay. Um, Hey, Thea, I'll check and see, and then we can sort of confirm moving forward as well. But this was interesting, Mina. I literally brought out several decks. I'm going to keep all these decks out now. But yeah, they said don't reconsider, girl. Trust that you made the right decision the right time. Okay? Because yeah, listen, I think the situation is that it would be so much for you to manage on top of your natural like the natural stuff that's kind of like occurring in life at the minute. I think that he has certain insecurities, I guess, that would just make it challenging navigating through a space romantically. And now that's just not where your focus needs to be. Okay. So yeah, that's what they say. Okay. Oh, and I can't say that they'd actually give it a yes later down the line either, because I think that you are more of the dominant in that I guess dynamic, if you will, and that's not necessarily what you're looking for. Okay. So yeah, you want to kind of like lean into someone who you feel safe enough to sort of, fall back on. Thea, thank you. No, that's okay, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you guys. Like y'all were direct tonight and we appreciate that. Thea. Okay, thank you for jumping into the space. God bless you too, Mina. I appreciate you. Feha has landed her question. Sorry, y'all. We got some donations that's kind of like jumped the queue. It's just the politics, I guess. It's okay, Rika. I'm glad that you're entertained. Right? This is like literally me I have these conversations with my guys on my own, pulling cards, just here with myself sometimes. Like this is my real life stuff. This is how we interact, this is how we engage. We real peoples. It's all good, beautiful. Thank you. I'm gonna go back to your question, Feha, and dive in. Okay, how Oz feeling, thinking, intentions towards me? Dang, girl, that's a lot. Okay, let's unpack it. I'm glad I got all the deck out. Oh, we're gonna literally unravel. We're gonna unravel fast. Oh, Oz, there we go. Right, we're gonna start with these because that's the first thing y'all took me to. Okay, we want to know about Oz's We're going to start with Oz's feelings towards Beha. What are Oz's feelings towards Beha, guys? Give it to us. Let's see it. Clear as day. Oz's feelings towards Beha. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm going to unpack it bit by bit. So I'm going to tell you what I see as I unpack it, because once I get to the whole story, I'm going to have to like merge all the pieces, I guess, and layers of him, thoughts, feelings, and intentions to like give you the full scope of things, right? So his feelings at the minute is that things are a little bit overwhelming. Things are a little bit overwhelming. He's, you know, there's a lot of responsibility with like taking on this relationship dynamic. I do feel like there's a lot of love there, and there's genuinely a lot of care there with the situation. But it feels like things. Yeah, it feels like the feelings on the situation is that things are very overwhelming and challenging at the minute. Is there somebody else sort of like coming into the mix? Yeah. I was just about to listen, Paya. I was just about to ask, is there somebody else sort of like coming into the mix with the situation? Because I guess his thoughts on the situation is that there may be sort of like competition there. Yeah, I think he feels like there may be okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because he feels like there may be competition there. Okay, let's have a look and see what are his thoughts towards Beha on the situation. What's Oz's thoughts towards Beha on the situation? Again? Okay. No, I get that. His thoughts on the situation. Okay. Yeah. His thoughts on the situation is that things potentially wasn't necessarily going to maybe go any further than a friendship, if you will. And I think that from what I can see, his thought process is that that's just kind of like, too much responsibility. I think he doesn't really want to be like emotionally invested in something between you and him. Because at the minute, I don't think that he sees it being able to kind of like develop into anything. So he doesn't really feel like, I guess, motivated, if you will, to put any effort into the situation. Thank you. Oh, both. Okay, we'll start with this first and then clarify. Okay, thank you. It's okay. Okay. Clarify this for me then. Bixby, mind your business. I done told you. Hey, do you guys see how your phones just monitor you? Listen to Bixby. Listen to my every word. So nosy. I'm Android gang, guys. Don't watch that. I wouldn't know what to do with an iPhone. Clarify this for me. Intentions. Okay, thank you. Oh, hey. Okay. The intentions come in two parts, right? Because the intentions to be able to kind of like allow for the situation to unfold naturally, instead of forcing anything with the situation. I think that he feels like, because I guess how you guys have kind of met, there may be the possibility that there's other people, I guess, sliding in the DMs, if you will, right? So I think that there's a little bit of insecurity on his end around that, because that's what I could see. Like, for some reason, I kept getting notion of the Seven of Wands showing up quite a bit. Sorry, I'm going to have to go and grab some cards for you down here to see what's going on. He's no contact because he's not motivated, my love. I feel like he's not making any sort of contact because I don't think that he feels like it's going to be able to develop into anything serious beyond a friendship. So because of that, I don't know. Have you given him the vibe that you're kind of like friend zoning him? Answer me that question, because it seems that he's unmotivated to pursue the situation. Because he thinks that there might be other people sort of connecting with you in the same format. He thinks that there might be other people sliding in the DMs, you know? Sliding in the DMs. Has nothing to do with you, because they're thinking about like competition, and it may even be that they're actually sliding into other people's DMs, because sometimes people actually like judge us based on their own standards, right? That part. Okay. Sorry, I'm like looking at his intentions with the situation. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that he's not necessarily able to kind of like pursue the situation. His intention on the situation is just to kind of like let things unfold naturally. He's sort of like practicing patience, from what I can see with the situation, purely because there may be some financial constraints as well, to actually like invest in spending time together to actually get to know each other as well. Him to he knows girls from other places. Potentially. Okay. What I'm seeing with the situation is that he's seeing this only as a friendship dynamic. He hasn't invested anything emotionally in the space, not even from that, starting from like his feelings on the situation. Like right about now, that's not a thing for him. He's not looking for any sort of commitment. That's not necessarily kind of like where he's at. That's too challenging for where he's at right now, financially, emotionally as well. Yeah, I'm not going to say mentally, because I think he's kind of like, I guess, I wouldn't say working on himself mentally, but I think that mentally he's probably better at handling things there than he is able to emotionally. What do you mean, Feha? Clarify that. I don't know what you mean. I don't see this to kind of like make it sort of like I'm hearing like cut a long story short. This won't necessarily develop into something like a budding romance or anything like that. I think that there's factors to the situation. They're not motivated to be able to kind of do anything with the situation. And I think that that's pretty much because they've got some commitment issues. They're not necessarily where they want to be financially, and they don't necessarily want to take on the responsibility of having to be responsible for somebody in a romantic context as well. So that's, I want to know. I want to meet and know another. Okay. Well, there'll be room for you to be able to do that. There'll be room for you to be able to do that. I think that this situation, you start to, even though you feel that way, you actually start to get this situation out of your system within the next 3 weeks, and then things start to kind of like pivot from there. Yeah. Interesting. Let's just say Mars retrograde is going to be an interesting time for you. It's going to shake up the romance space for you a little bit. There's probably going to be options sort of like presented to you in the within the next 3 weeks or so. And you kind of have to decide from there where you want to go with things. But be mindful. Be mindful. Yeah, don't color the red flags. Accept them for what they are, address them, and decide how you're going to move on appropriately if you see any, because you probably will if they are entering your orbit during the Mars retrograde. Okay. I wouldn't say start relation, but I guess you guys start to interact. You'll start to Mars retrograde shall bring you in options in about 3 weeks or so. You'll start to see things kind of like moving. It's going to stir the pot in your romantic life for a little bit. Okay. But be mindful, like I said, with your decisions as well. I'm hearing the devil comes in many disguises. Okay. Take that. Because when the guides leave with like a parting guidance, like it's always important. So take that how you will, but the devil comes in many faces. So be mindful where you place your energy. And like I said, don't paint the red flags a different color. Address them and acknowledge what they are. What are current feelings and intentions of Basilis towards me? Oh, I missed you guys too, Smugradina. Okay, so we're gonna go and dive into it. Thank you, Mina, for continuing the list. I appreciate you, girl. Okay. We are going to start off with this. Yeah, I appreciate you. Okay. We want to start off, guys, with Basilis's feelings towards Smogradina. Let's start with the feelings, guys. Let's work it out. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Hey, Rasheen. How you doing? Okay. Ooh. Okay. So the feelings, Vasilis's feelings on the situation, it was funny because as soon as I was coming in here, it was like a third party. I'm sorry, that's the first thing. Like as soon as I picked up the deck and shuffled and everything, it was like it was showing me about third party situation straight off the bat, right? And sometimes that could be just sort of like an interceptor, something that makes it challenging, but I just thought that was hella funny. But yeah, so their feelings on the situation, interestingly enough, right? All talk and no action. All talk and no action. They have no intentions. I'm sorry, because I'm going straight into the feelings. I feel like, right? Okay. Thank you. Okay. They were just keeping it true. This is what I'm saying. Thank y'all. At least this is what I'm saying. If we address things, we know how to kind of like go into it and unpack it. So all talk, no action. He has no intentions to deliver on a lot of the things that I guess he has promised. Those are the feelings on the situation. Okay. We have the Knight of Pentacles, like he is the slowest of all the knights. Like he takes forever and a day to get to wherever he needs to be. So he's hoping if he drags his legs long enough, you might realize that the things that you thought you wanted, you might not want anymore by the time he finishes dragging his leg. Okay. Someone told me that the other girl is stuck on her ex though. Okay. 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 I understand the dragging his legs as well then. I understand on dragging the legs. Because let me unpack the thoughts first. Let me unpack the thoughts. Like, they said let me finish seeing all the factors to the story before I start talking. So let me unpack the thoughts and see first. Oh no, intentions. What? Okay. What are Vasilis's actual intentions towards Magdalena? Oh, girl, like, what? What's Vasilis's actual intentions? Thank you, y'all. Okay. Oh. Sorry. I'm very reactive because I'm like getting it. Like, you know, in terms of like what the cards are saying to me, I'm kind of like, okay, cool. Okay. Okay, so what I'm seeing with the situation as far as like his intentions, he's intending to be like slightly cold, a little bit distant and removed. That's his intentions with the situation. I don't like this. I'm telling you. Clarify. I'm saying I don't like this, right? What I mean is that I feel like he's got hidden agendas. I don't like his vibe. His vibe is a little bit snaky. I can't lie. His vibe's a little bit snaky. I can't lie. It's like wolves dressed in sheep clothing. That's the best way that I can put it. Like people with hidden agendas. Like, and I don't listen. I literally just like cleansed my whole energy, and I had surgery to like end certain contracts. You don't want to get yourself into like contracts. Like people have contracts with spirits as well, and when you get into like affiliations with them, you get into contracts with their spirits as well. So just be mindful of that. What they're showing me with the situation, yeah. There's a little bit of codependency there with the situation, as far as like the intention. So that's what I'm saying. Like they'll just keep dragging their leg and kind of like keeping one foot in the door, like, and keeping the door ajar with you when they actually have no intentions to fully come into the room and commit to what's in the room behind that door. They just want to hold their foot in the door like a placeholder. Like, and it's not necessarily fair. Yeah. Honestly, beautiful, I don't see this ending well for you. When we invest feelings, just like with any investment, there's always like a winner. And some of us, like with investments, there has to be like a loser. So this is an investment that you would have to pretty much cut your losses when you decide that it's not necessarily like working for you as far as you investing your emotions, time, and energy into this space. But yeah, I think that their intentions are to please themselves, and that's their only focus with the situation. Like I'm keeping it hella blunt with you guys tonight. That's just what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to get any better. I feel like they are going to continue to emotionally manipulate you and abuse you psychologically in the process. So kind of like gaslight you with situations, like make you feel one thing and then have you questioning if your feelings are real when they're actually toying with those exact feelings, because I guess for all intents and purpose, they feel like they're backed into a corner because, they're getting this attention from both of these places and they don't necessarily know how to handle it the best way and be the most mature with it and handle people's feelings with care. So, yeah. Everybody has their tolerance level, so I can't tell you what to and to not put up with, but I'm telling you, like putting up with the situation as it moves further, there's no intentions towards actually like recommitting to anything with you. So yeah, sorry, love. I just have to keep it honest with you. I feel like there's just going to be a lot of undelivered promises with the situation. Oh, I can only do. I know we're kind of like going deep into sort of like questions and stuff, but the guys are also saying to me that I need to start watching with the timing as well, because I've still got quite a few people on the list as well to kind of navigate through. But I don't think that they are stuck elsewhere. I feel like I feel like, and this is the gag, right, Smegradina? I feel like Bacillus manifested where Bacillus is at. So they manifested somebody who's as emotionally unavailable to them as they seem to be to you. That part. Okay. That's what I'd say on that situation. As far as them being stuck on someone else, the other person. I think they're getting a dose of their own medicine. I'll put it like that. Right. Hey, Rika. Thank you for hanging in there, man. What's your question? Put it out there. Oh. Yes. Sorry. They said yes. He has to be because you're a bit of a snob when it comes to appearance. Sorry. Oh man. It's not me. I'm just saying. That's what they done said. Okay. So when you're like telling God your little list, like that's high up there on your list of priorities, right? So God already got that memo. Okay, it's already been put through as far as the request. So that part. But let's dive into some characteristics, guys. Let's dive into some characteristics with the energy oracle. What's the characteristic? Listen, that's just what they said. That's what they said, girl. Yeah, God's already got the request. You're good. You're good. Okay. Talk to us, guys. Characteristics of the future spouse. Come on, let us in. We want to see behind the doors, guys. Come on. Show me. Oh, I'm hearing some stuff, right? So we're going to see how the cards unfold with it. I'm excited too. I really want to see. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna kind of like digest all of this good stuff because a lot of the cards are actually in reverse. It's not a bad thing. It just means that the energy is internalized. So I need to understand what they're sort of saying to me on the situation. Bixby, come out my business, man. Bixby is so nosy, you know. Listen, you guys, seriously. Listen, this is our new monitors, okay? Like feds don't even need to be present all time. They got us. We pay for our monitor. We pay to insure our monitor. Okay, we pay for the benefits that we get with our monitor, which is to make calls and texts and be on social media. Bixby in my business. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so what I'm seeing with the situation, as far as like their characteristics, right? They seem to be somebody who's like very balanced internally. So they're like emotionally balanced themselves. They have a tendency to be able to kind of like observe themselves and observe their emotions. Sorry, y'all. I just have to keep it true. I will be talking to people and I hear Bixby in my business randomly all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, like you don't have to make it so obvious that you are monitoring me. Chill out. Okay. Now you're just making the relationship weird. Anyways, guys. Yeah. So Rika, they have like a good sense of emotional observation. So they're not really the type of person to be like reactive with situations. And there were like a few words that I was hearing as like the cards were coming through as well. I was hearing that they're sweet, they're kind, so they're kind of like thoughtful with gifts and gestures. So I would say acts of service is one of their love languages as far as like how they express love. And also what's it called, they also like to kind of like buy nice little things as well to be able to, I guess, let it be known that they're thinking just random stuff as well. Like they just come with random stuff. They're like, oh, I was thinking about you, I saw this. That's cute, right? I like that. And sorry. They said, right? That's what's up. That's what's up, Rika. They said that he even knows how to handle your spice. Okay, he knows how to handle your spicy personality. So this was one of the things that God has to specifically work on, right? This is why they are like emotionally balanced, right? Because you can go from 0 to 100 real quick, randomly, for no reason. But it seems like, and I wouldn't say no reason because it's like they might miss a beat and they missed the reason because they didn't realize that that was something that could potentially like cause upset to you. Because it's like the small things, I guess, counts with you, but they learn. They don't take things too personally in that way. They actually they actually are quite like it's a part of your personality quirk that they like. Not all the time, I'm gonna say this, they like it for the most part, but not all the time. Sometimes it can get a little bit, you know, annoying and rub people the wrong way, but they have a higher tolerance than most. Okay, when it comes to that dynamic with situations, because you love to pull stuff up, and they're also like commitment's important to them. I think by the time they get to you, from what I can see, like they spent so much of their time being a bit of a commitment phobe, that by the time they kind of like get into a situation with you, where they once lacked focus and ambition, a lot of the things that they were focusing on, which wasn't their romantic situation, and like putting into that space and really feeding into those seeds, those things actually come to pass. So they're a little bit more stable. They're a little bit more secure. Security is important to them. Structure is important to them as well. They never like to kind of like be bored. Boredom's not a thing for them. She should have a time. Absolutely, 100%. And I think that for them as well, what I'm seeing with the situation is that how can I put it? They themselves have gone through a few things in romance that they've had to forgive as well. And I think that that's probably why by the time they get to you, they're actually kind of like ready to open up. I'm gonna say this: they might be ready to open up, but it doesn't necessarily mean they know how to. So you have to be mindful of that. In terms of like their moments of vulnerability as well, because you're quite a sharp personality. Okay. You have to be mindful as well to kind of like be present in their space of vulnerability so that that can continue to kind of like be cultivated within the relationship as well. That's something that you guys will probably have to work at within the relationship. And I think that with the situation as well, I guess they're quite sociable as well. They're quite sociable as well. With the dynamics that you guys kind of like have, and I think that it's funny because they're actually like quite reserved and like naturally a little bit of an introvert from what I can see as far as like their natural personality. But they like that's why they like to be able to kind of like socialize to get themselves out of their comfort zone a little bit. They like to kind of like do things like that to, I guess, get the other sides of themselves out as well. But yeah, it seems like a good guy. He seems like a good guy. He handles you well. I'll say that much. He handles you well. I think that from what I can see as well, he has a very dry sense of humor. He has a very dry sense of humor, but I think that that comes as well from being a little bit more introverted with his personality. But he likes, you know, some of the abstract humor as well. So yeah, he just generally tends to be like a little bit dry with his humor in terms of how he delivers it. But yeah, it seems like a nice little situation. It seems like a nice little situation. He's a cool guy. And you guys, I guess, figure it out. You guys figure it out. You compliment each other. That's what I'd say. You guys compliment each other. I hope that that was useful for you, my love. That was fun. Oh, I like it when they do a little read. Right, guys. Let's see. Who have we got on the list? Oh, thank you, Rika. Thank you for sharing with us. That was awesome. Damn, Aranima. Okay, let me think. Let me break it down. Can you tell me about right? It was quite read. I actually really enjoyed it. Ah, can you tell me about Saji guy? We talked for a short time, and as soon as I felt I am a bit interested, he left. His feelings and energy for me, and the learning from this whole encounter. See, I love that. I love that. Right. There's a lot in there to unpack, but I love that. Because, listen, if we didn't get the blessing, we definitely got a lesson in that a whole ordeal, and we need to find out what that is so we don't have to sit that class again. Okay? Oh no, you're good. You're good, Araniva. It's cool. I understand why you had to Yeah, no, it was a good read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. I understand why you had to kind of like give me, details with the situation so that you can, we can utilize this. Bixby's over there on the sofa still listening to my conversation. That this shit is creeping me out. No, seriously. It creeps me out because it's the most random of times. Bixby's literally like, if feds could tell me anything that I done said at any time. Bixby, chill out, man. Chill out, chill out, chill out. I'm not asking you for nothing. I'm asking you to go away. Saji. Aranima wants to know about Saji. Right? Ooh. Okay, we're halfway there. We are halfway there, guys. Okay, come on. Saji guy, we want to sort of get an understanding about his feelings. Let's start with his feelings. What's his feelings towards Aranima? We want to get that. Okay, thank you. What's Saji's feelings towards Aranima? As clearly as you can, please. Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right, so dang, Shruti. Do you know what? Don't worry. I'm coming to you next. Okay? Right. So, Aranima, as far as Saji's feelings towards you, right? It seems like they're actually going through this kind of like crossroads of a situation where they're kind of avoiding responsibility, and that's just the way it is. They're choosing to be immature about the situation, and they're choosing to kind of like open themselves up, I guess, to new prospects. And they're being cool, calm, and collected about it. They've got their whole like King of Cups energy about it. Like, I'm not bothered. I'm not sweating this situation. It's like, okay, well, can you communicate that to me at least? Because clearly there was no communication to kind of like let it be known to you that this was going to be the situation. Look, I don't think that they have any intentions to kind of like rekindle anything. I think that they were immature when you met them. They've shown their immature selves. They've revealed their immature face, and they're actually cool about it. So that's Saji's feelings. Now let's go to the energy and see what's going on. What's their energy? Okay. 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 Ain't that the truth? They're strategizing about their like escape plan for this lack of closure situation. Who does that? Okay. What's their energy towards Aranima? Okay. What? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So the feelings on the situation, right? It's so funny because the feelings and what's it? The energy. So the energy that he was giving is like, this is a door to romance type situation. This is something that could potentially be long time. Listen, he doesn't want anything serious. He doesn't. Like, I don't think that and I hate to be like a Debbie Downer and stuff. I don't mean to be like that girl tonight. I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, this is what's on the cards. Like, it's funny because that was what like he was giving. That was the energy that he was giving. And I think that he's still kind of giving that kind of energy because he hasn't closed out the space. He hasn't kind of like clearly defined what the situation is. And I think he's left it that way because he kind of almost wants to kind of like leave that situation on pause whilst he kind of goes and figures out like how to juggle other situations, if you will, and then kind of like leave this as a prospect. People, we can be so careless with each other sometimes, guys. Like, I know we're all human, and I'm not perfect, trust me, by any means, right? But I have to check my human sometimes. I have to check myself sometimes and ask myself, how much care am I handling a situation with, or how delicate am I being with a person, or how delicate am I being with myself in certain situations? I don't think he has any intentions of being delicate with you throughout the process. I feel like his lesson, I'm going to start there because clearly there's a lesson there for him to be able to kind of like clarify, is to clearly articulate like his intentions. Like if he's not willing or ready to commit to something, all he's got to do is kind of like say that. Yeah, all he's got to do is say that. And I think he's learning how to be able to kind of like not put himself in situations where he ties himself up unintentionally because he's not able to articulate himself. And then he also needs to know how to be able to exit situations, in a healthy way. In a healthy way. I think this was just all immaturity on his part, to be honest. Like this was just showing his level of maturity, unfortunately. Okay, he's kind of like navigating that path. Lesson, guys. What lesson did we have here for Arunima with the situation? What was the lesson? So we don't resit this class. Arunima said, I ain't got the time. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, Arunima. Let's see. So, right. Yeah. Okay. This right here was a turning point in your situation and your circumstances in terms of how you kind of like handle situations when it comes to romance. I think from what I can see with the dynamics, you know, sometimes you can kind of like, sorry, for lack of a better way of putting it, I have to give it as they're giving it to me. Sometimes you can overstay your welcome in relationship situations. And what do I mean by that? I mean, sometimes you can go beyond the point where you know what it is that you want and you know what it is that you need, but you settle for actions that may not be aligned with your intentions sometimes. And eventually later down the line, you kind of like giving benefit of the doubt in some of those situations kind of like comes back to bite you in the ass. They're sort of saying, let this be a turning point in that type of dynamic. If you say that your intention is one thing and you see that that person is not aligning with your intentions by their actions, by their words, you have to take these things into evaluation. You don't have to act upon it, but definitely take note of what's kind of like occurring in those instances, because what happens is that those types of dynamics have a tendency to sort of like throw you on a detour with your intentions, right? And then it's like the universe is sat there and they're like, Aranima, I thought you said that your intention was this, babe. And then you're like, I know, I did say, but you know, they this, they that. they're like all these exceptions to all of these rules that aren't necessarily in alignment with your intentions, right? And you kind of like, at that point, you delay your process of your blessing being bestowed upon you, right? Because you're kind of like lingering, wasting time with a lesson that isn't equally yoked to your blessing, if that makes sense, right? I try to ignore my intentions, thinking that the other person will eventually. Hell no, they won't. Shit. Sorry. Listen. Exactly. That part. Okay. And let me tell you why. And I'm not going to say that they won't for everyone. Some people, and I want to make this very clear, this isn't to like leave room for you to kind of like continue down this path of giving people the benefit of your doubt, right? Sometimes a person's not going to be in alignment with your intentions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have the same intention. The what's the word, guys? The motive. Okay, the motive, the agenda is to find out what their intention is and see if their intentions actually align with your intentions, because sometimes their intentions don't even align with your intentions, and then it's like, that's it. Their intentions don't align, but you know how you do the whole sway yourself and sway your feelings and talk yourself down from your. Do you know what your intentions are? Your intentions are essentially your standards of living. It's your standard of how the universe is supposed to co-create with you as you co-create with the universe to manifest the reality that you want. Your intentions specify to the universe exactly what standard and precedent you are setting for the reality that you're creating for yourself. And when you falter on your own intentions and fall like by the wayside with your standards, guess what? You're telling the universe that you're up here, but really the universe is giving you standards down here, because that's what how you're dealing and treating your intentions is actually saying to the universe. So we're gonna weed that out. We're gonna weed that out, Aranima, okay, through this lesson. So thank you, Saji, for showing up when you did. You were divinely timed, because now we got this lesson, and that shall be the blessing moving forward. Okay, that part. This is a turning point for you. And as you kind of like navigate through relationships moving forward, like let this be a blessing to your future self moving forward, where you move with integrity by honoring your true desires, your intentions, and your own personal feelings. Because if you aren't aligned with your intentions, you can't possibly expect the other person to be, is what they're saying. So if you want to be able to, like, if you feel like a person has a willingness to try, really get clarity on what their intentions are. And if they can't articulate to you what their intentions are, unfortunately, they are going to keep wasting your time. Why? Because they aren't using their time to clearly identify what it is that they're actually intending to manifest in their reality. Okay. And even if you come into the space and they're like the yes man, that's like, oh, that's my intention too. Interesting. How do you plan to get there? What is our plan to be able to get from here in alignment with that? Because again, people like sometimes people don't have everything planned out, and that's cool. But guess what? Without a plan, nothing moves. You stay on this hamster wheel and you keep going round and round, looping in your same reality, glitching in the same emotional pain points, and continuing to repeat cycles time after time again. We ain't gonna do that no more. Okay. Okay. We left that with the Pisces full moon. Okay, clearing up all them cycles. God done blessed us, okay, with some new standards, okay, in life. Now we're moving with the Aries full moon energy. It's a good time to sort of like start your new beginnings with these dynamics and situations. You don't have to question yourself on what it is that you're seeing and cause yourself shadows, like, because that's what's happening in those situations. It's a long-term shadow that you're actually going into a contract with, right? Because the same situation that you're giving them benefit of the doubt with at the beginning, or whenever it is that these things are showing themselves and revealing themselves to you, long term is the same thing that's going to have you under depressive thoughts because your expectations aren't being met. Save yourself the bother. Okay. Time is precious. It's the most precious commodity that we have. Okay. I hope that was useful for you. Dang, they ain't playing tonight, y'all. Okay. Oh, Svisha, thank you for stopping in, my love. Unfortunately, the free list is closed. I've been here for like an hour and a half already. I'm never here for an hour and a half, to be honest. But I'm supposed to be here for an hour and a half. So it's unfortunate, but we're gonna sort of move through the night. But I will be back next Friday. So listen, people started joining the list before I even got live. So if you want to come, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I will be here next Friday. You have to come early. Okay. I put the notification out at least the day before. I might start putting it out a couple days before, but I don't know because the list got full before I even started the live tonight. Okay. So you're going to have to come nice and early. Hold that thought. You might get some clarity throughout this week and might even have a completely different question for me next time. No, that's okay, Aranima. Thank you so much for actually like sharing the space with us, because I think that a lot of us, like, we struggle with some of those same challenges ourselves, but I don't know what's going on with these upgrades that are taking place with this 2022 energy sort of like closing out, moving into 2023. God's doing a new thing for next year, and he's like pre-preparing us for like 2023 versions of self. So yes, y'all. It's an interesting time. I appreciate you sharing that with us, because I'm sure so many of us can take something away from what was said. Thank you, Svisha. We'll definitely meet next week. Okay. Try and get here early. Trust me. Right, Shruti. Let's go to you because you have been waiting and I know it's late. My bad. My bad, Shruti. Okay. Yeah, I know, Mina. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do you know what? It's so late as well where Mina is. I appreciate you so much, my love. Whenever you're ready to sort of dive off, like, no hard feelings. I completely understand. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with this then. Okay, Shruti wants to know about her spouse's characteristics, right? We want to get some clarity on some of the characteristics. Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you. No, they are detailed. They are, listen, the guides, because I like to go into information, man. Sometimes they give me a little piece of stuff and then things play out and I'm like, why didn't you tell me, guys? And they're like, you didn't ask. So now I asked. Okay, I gotta ask. Right, guys, clarify this for me. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Oh, wow. Really? That's like half the deck, guys. I'm gonna have to hold this in my hand. I don't have enough space for this. Shruti. Exactly that, Tavisha. That's exactly what I thought as well. that question may already be unraveling itself, and it may be one of those questions that needs to play out for you to sort of like see the results. So next week we might have a question that might give you some more insights into whatever it is. Okay. But I hope you have a swell week. Whatever's kind of like on your heart at the minute. I hope that God and the angels continue to assist you in working through it. Okay. Right. So, interesting. Sorry, I'm like getting all of the like. This is my third eye is like itching. I'm like literally, I'm seeing so many things like, yeah, there's so many like things being projected in my mind's eye at the minute. It's interesting. So, Shruti, I'm going to tell you that sorry, I'm like really taking everything in, right? What I'm seeing with the situation is I'm going to ask you this question now because they're talking to me about a situation right now. Are you in a non-committal situation with someone right now? Are you in a situationship right now, basically? I want to clarify that first before I can kind of like dive into what's actually going on here, because it's a whole story, Shruti. Right? It's the whole story. And I want to be able to like give it to you as they're kind of like delivering it to me. So, are you currently in a situationship of any sort? Okay. Okay. Good. So, what I'm seeing with the situation, right, is that there may be someone that comes in to offer a committal situation, but they have their own agenda. They have their. So this is what I'm gonna say to you, Shruti. Right. I see somebody who is a little bit. They tell lies. Mostly to themselves. Okay, because for the most part, sometimes you actually see through their lies. I think the situation with this is that this person is introduced to you through someone else. They're introduced to you through a third party. And I think that that's what kind of like provides this level of trust that hasn't necessarily been earned. And what I'm seeing with the situation is almost like there's trust of the merit of the person who sorry, Rika's funny. Sorry, that tickled me. Thank you for your honesty. Love that. But no, it seems like the person that introduces you guys, they don't necessarily know this person too well as well. I have to say this to you. Shruti. Be mindful. I don't think that they have ill intent per se. I think that they just kind of yeah, they have their own ideology when it comes to like relationship dynamic. Like they're mostly married to their career and really kind of like focusing on the finance side of things. And this is where the lies, I guess, comes in, right? The lies. So and this is why I said it's like lying to themselves, because I feel like they know they don't have like the emotional capacity to like entertain or engage in anything, but they still kind of like, you know, open the door for it to kind of like become something. And you have to be mindful as well, because I think that they themselves as well. Okay, so this is one of the areas that they lie about. They lie about like their financial stature. Okay, they lie about like where they are, how established they are, all of these. Okay, I'm gonna say exaggerate, because that's gonna be their word, right? When they're kind of like exposed. Exaggerate. They exaggerated their circumstances, right? So that's just something to be mindful of with the situation. I do, however, see that things does kind of move into a different direction for you guys. I want to say sort of like 3 years into things, I feel like things start to get a little bit more balanced, where I guess he gets to where he was pretending to be all along financially, like where he's like secure, a little bit settled, got some savings together, and is in a position where he feels secure within himself. And I think that that's where things are able to kind of like shift with you guys, where his mind isn't constantly just focused on business and finance and career and all of those factors. He actually gets to a place where he can balance things out a little bit. I do think that he means well by lying, I guess. Listen, half truths are whole lies as well. Sounds a lot like Roach Roach. No, not right. No, look. From what I'm seeing with the situation, they are introduced to you by a third party, and they are recommended by a third party as such. I do think that they exaggerate their stature, um, but I think that eventually things kind of like get to a place where it's a little bit more balanced. I think that they feel as well like they had to be able to sort of like bring something extravagant to the table. They're attractive. They're attractive. And I say attractive because I feel like I feel like he has a funny sense of humor. I feel like he has a funny sense of humor, and that's what makes them even more attractive as well. I guess like physical appearance, he's not very confident in himself. I'll say that much. He's not very confident in himself when it comes to his physical appearance as well. And I think that that's probably why there may have been some lies told about the financial stature, to maybe compensate for that insecurity, I guess. That could be my own extravagant taste that might make him lie. That part, that thank you for your honesty, Shruti, because they did say that, they said that to me. They said that to me. He couldn't like come as he is, because that's not good enough, and he really wanted to actually like at least have a shot or a chance to be able to kind of like have you get to know him, as opposed to like just being like completely nope. So thank you for your honesty. Okay. They appreciate your honesty too. Okay, at least you see yourself. Okay, we love that. But yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a little bit of work. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be a little bit. They try their best to impress you. It feels like a constant like chasing act for like a good 2-3 years before they're actually like secure. So I think it might take like a good maybe 3 years or so before you guys I guess make that full on commitment to each other as far as like moving into potentially like marriage or engagement or whatever. But I think for like those 2-3 years he's like constantly trying to meet your expectations basically, and they're pretty high expectations. So I think he struggles with that a little bit. But yeah, I think he means well. I think that I think that he really loves you. I'll say that. I think that he really loves you. I think that he does. I want to say dumb things because of that love. And I want to say dumb things because I think probably, okay, probably, not even probably. They said yes. Yes. Okay, yes, he is going to have a challenging time sort of like being able to impress you, and it takes quite a bit as well. And I'd say don't like drop your standards, but sometimes it's okay to loose some of our expectations to make room, okay, for God to be able to deliver certain blessings to us. I do think that the situation becomes valuable and beneficial for both of you guys long term, actually. So yeah, I think eventually you guys kind of like learn how to work with each other's quirks a little bit. I think he has to be very stealthy navigating around some stuff with you. And I think that that's why he lies, actually. I think that that's why he lies, because he's just trying to be stealthy about telling you what he feels like you want to hear. Yes, if I'm marrying him ultimately, then yes, I have to try. Yeah. Yeah. And again, do you know what it is? It's like he's the exception to the rule. Even if you tend to be quite like hard in certain situations, like he's just got that kind of like face, presence, and personality, whereby he charms you to kind of like let your walls down a little bit. And that's probably like his biggest I guess his biggest personality strength coming forward with the situation. The fact that he's actually able to kind of like diffuse and de-escalate situations with you, because I guess he kind of like he gets it, and I think he's so desperate as well to be with you that he actually he overlooks quite a few things as well along the way on both parts. Nice guy though. Nice guy. Okay. But yeah, that's it. I hope that was useful for you. That was interesting. That tickled me in so many ways. Thank you for that, Shruti. That was good. That was good. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and see. Right. How many have we got on the list left? We've got about 4. Okay. Sakshi. I know, I can imagine. You guys are thing. No, the love chase is up until the marriage, girl. The love chase is up until the marriage. Okay, I don't know if it's arranged. I do see that you guys are actually introduced to a third party. But yeah, The love chase only goes on up until the marriage. After the marriage, y'all decide to be with each other. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was reading let me read the question out loud. Sorry. I was like having a whole like thing going on in my mind as I was like reading the question, right? Okay, so Mina's asked the question on behalf of Sakshi. And the question, I guess there's a little bit of like backstory to it. So, the actual cause of my 24/7 headache or head pressure and dizziness of 10 years is a CSF leak. Can my pain be completely healed through PVH healing wand? Thank you so much. Love and light. Pardon. Okay, Sakshi Shetty. Okay, Shetty. To answer your question, I'm going to say it can be a. She wants to know if this is the real cause. Okay, okay. And then she wants to know, thank you. Okay, because my dyslexia would go to like the main thing that I can like compute. So thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate you. So yeah. I the actual cause of my 24/7. Sorry, I'm like receiving it and digesting it. Of 10 years is a CSF leak. It is a component. Sorry, I'm like reading and like receiving at the same time. The CSF leak is a component, but it's not the only factor to the situation. There's other things that are going on. A couple of things that I'd actually probably recommend. I'd recommend a kidney detox. Liver detox and a digestive tract detox, all at different times. I wouldn't recommend doing these things all at the same time, clearly, because your human would actually be like, oh my God, what the hell is happening in here? Okay. You might actually have out of body experiences if you're kind of like doing all of that at once. So I wouldn't recommend it all at once. What I would say, however, is that there's quite a few things that are sort of going on with the situation. There's a tendency to kind of like overthink, worry a lot. That needs to be cleared in the kidneys. So that's what the kidney cleanse is for. And it also requires abstaining from feeding like worrying thoughts for at least 21 days. So this would have to be like done in 3 different 21 days increments, because this is how you kind of like go through the process of programming. I don't think that it's going to be completely healed, but I can recommend ways in which I guess she can manage this, because at the minute I can tell it's actually very overwhelming. The other thing with the cleansing the liver as well, she internalizes a lot of her frustrations. So there's a lot of passive anger, a lot of passive energy that is kind of like being preserved within the body as well. And the thing about those types of things is that it still takes energy, it still drains energy. And these are some of the release points that we have. So, like the crown chakra, the solar plexus chakra, are two of the exit points that we have. So that's something that needs to be changed behaviorally. So speaking or learning how to articulate and communicate like frustrations in a healthy way would definitely be beneficial as well. And again, going on a 21-day sort of like detox process as well, to cleanse the liver, and then also sorry, I'm trying to sort of like remember what the digestive tract as well. The digestive tract is pretty much our waste system within our body, and that again sometimes as well needs to kind of like go through its own sort of like cleansing process as well, because we get a lot of like buildup and backup. And you might think, well, what does the digestive tract has to do with kind of like headaches as well? A lot of we don't just digest food, we digest thoughts, we digest feelings, we digest our circumstances and experiences in different ways through thoughts and feelings. So going through the physical cleansing of the digestive tract with the intent to be able to cleanse, remove, and purge the emotional plane, as well as the mental plane as well. That's definitely going to be useful to be able to help to move through the situation. I don't think that it can cure it, but I do think that it is a good tool to help manage it. Okay, cures a cure. So what I don't want to do is kind of like give you false hope and impression that it's going to be like this situation is going to be like it and that's it. No, this situation's been going on for 10 years. So if you think about it, she's been sick for longer than she's actually been going through the process of the healing with the the PVH wand. Okay. What I would say is that it will help to be able to maintain some of these things and some of these symptoms. Yeah, it will make it more copable. It will make it more copable. I definitely think that there's other things that she kind of has to do as well with her body to be able to kind of like because every avatar is different. Do you know what I mean? Like every avatar sort of like processes things differently. So I think as well, that's a factor with the situation. Some of the other stuff that I recommended, if she can get some of those things implemented as well, that will help to optimize her avatar for this leak that's occurring as well. And the PVH can help to be able to sort of manage the pain. I don't think that the pain will be as frequent and as prominent if she utilizes the methods. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Cool stuff. Okay. Booby. Oh, I hope that that was useful as well for Sakshi. Yeah, thank you guys. Booby, are you in the room? Thank you. Thank you, love. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. It was very interesting. It's yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if Booby's here. Booby's probably trying to watch us at work, as he does. If he's not here, we might have to go on to the other two ladies and maybe come back to Booby. I know Booby like came in earlier and was like really, wanting to sort of like get his name on the list, but I guess work has kind of pulled him away. But yes, Miss Yaz, thank you. Look at you, Miss Yaz. You were sat there waiting and being all quiet. Okay, Miss Yaz, and then we've got here What? Mina did that 6:30 thing. Make sure you put it in the. Oh, love reading. Let's dive into it. Oh, sorry, y'all. Booby came in. Hey, Booby. I'm gonna come back to you, Miss Yaz. I'm gonna come back to you. Just because Booby was like there, he came right in time. His guides let him in just as we was about to move on. So he's gonna get his little stuff. But I'm gonna pull some romance cards and break it down with the tarot for you. Booby, give us your question because you literally just almost missed your. I was about to leave you. I was like, I don't know what's going on with Booby tonight. I know he was out here, but I don't know if he's still here. So no, that's okay. That's okay, Mina. I think we're kind of like at the end of the list, so I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Beautiful. Like, get some sleep. Okay, girl. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for lending us your energy and time and effort tonight. May you have a nice travel tonight. Okay? God bless. Right, guys. Baby, what's your question? Oh, are you typing it out? Isabel, I'm sorry, my love. The list is closed. It's closed. I mean, I'm sorry for you that it's closed, but I'm not sorry for me that it's closed. I'm tired. I'm tired. Thank you, beautiful. Oh, I received. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna take a minute to sit and receive that. Oh, thank you, Mina. I received that upload. Okay. With AJ, the girl that you said was intrigued. I do remember. Tell me. Advice in what context? What you mean? Sorry, Isabel. Tune in next week. Okay, get here early. Okay, because listen, the list was practically already closed before I came on. There was only room for one person, so get here early. I put the notification out maybe a day or two before, so okay, notify yourself, get yourself on the wait-in list, and then yeah, come and join us and see how that unfolds if you're able to get on the list then. Okay. Oh, red flags. Attitude problems. Sorry, that was to Booby. I'm literally okay. Uncertainty. Right, guys. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm gonna pull some cards. Okay, come on, guys. Booby wants to know what's the deal with AJ, y'all. Oh, damn. Ouch. Okay, so pull that out. Pull that out for a little bit, Booby. Pull that out for a little bit. Come on, show me. What do you see sort of like happening with Booby and AJ? How do you see things playing out with these guys? Thank you. Okay, we know that much right now. We know that's where we're at, but how do you see things unfolding? Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. Clarify. Okay. Oh. Mm. Oh snap! Sorry. I'm confused. I heard good things, then boom. Yeah, yeah. That happens sometimes. That feels like life, right? Does that not feel like a little like snippet if one was to describe life in one sentence? I heard good things, then boom. That's life. Sorry, baby. I'm not making light of your situation. I'm genuinely, I feel like that's how life has like been unraveling. So what they're showing me with the situation, right? It's interesting. Because they're saying like things are going to play out with this situation where there's some forgiveness. This situation eventually ends in forgiveness because you guys kind of disengage, to avoid things kind of becoming disastrous. I feel like I do sometimes. I'm a little bit ratchet. It depends on what information I have to deliver when. Okay. So yeah, you might get some sprinklings in there. But no, what they're showing me with the situation, right? Oh, don't cry, baby. Don't cry. Look, every step is a stepping stone into the next most beautiful experience that we can possibly have. What I'm seeing with the situation is that it's like, oh, sorry. It's like things get a little bit complicated with you guys. I feel like, and this is why I asked attitude problem initially, because it feels like um, things kind of go through a process where it shifts a little bit. Um, things go through a process. I think that there's still like an attraction in chemistry, but things just get hella weird. Talk to me about this weird feeling, guys. What's that about? Okay. 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 Sorry, I'm like taking it all in, Bobby. Okay, baby. So what I'm seeing, as far as like they also have a fear of the situation developing into something, and then it just kind of being something that's kind of just like impulsive, and fizzling. I think that they have their own sort of fears with the situation as well. Oh, dang. Can you hear me now? Am I back? Am I still frozen? She's a mannequin challenge. Sorry. I'm a loser like that. I don't mean to be. Thank you. Okay, good. I'm back. So, what I'm seeing with the situation is that they are. Bixby is still monitoring me, guys. This is the world we live in 2022. So what I'm seeing with the situation, they have their own fears about how things may play out, and whether or not this may just be like a casual hookup situation, and it kind of like affecting the dynamic with you guys as well, because I think you guys work together as well, if I remember correctly. So they have their own hangups about that situation. I think that that's potentially, you guys need to actually like have a proper conversation about what your intentions are with this issue. So this is what I'd say, with the situation at the minute, right? Because you guys are kind of like in the process of getting to know each other, but it's almost like the conversations aren't as direct as they need to be. The conversation is like Yeah, we talked about it, but did we really talk about it? That's how I'm getting it. It's like, did we actually resolve anything, or was it just one of those types of situations where it was like, yeah, we had a conversation. You told me your perspective, I told you my perspective, but honestly, we didn't actually kind of like come to an understanding with the situation. Oh, did you? How's that going? Sorry. Sorry, baby. Okay, how's that going? How's the situation going now that you're not like in that space anymore? Like, because I remember the work situation was being like a little bit. She is in a 50% relationship. However, yeah, 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 and I can get that. I can get that. I can get that. What I'd say with the situation, I don't think. Sorry, I'm gonna I'm gonna ask you a question because they're saying before I speak, let me ask you a question. Okay, so if she's in a 50% relationship, right? What is it that you're looking for? Let me ask you that question. Are you looking for something because she only has 50% emotional capacity for a relationship, pretty much is what she's letting you know. Um okay. Okay. Yeah. Do you feel better not being in the environment? Because I remember like the environment was like stifling mentally and emotionally for you as well. Just being in that space, it was like, let me know that. Um, mm, I see. That's the reality. If she's in a relationship and she's got 50% of her capacity used up in that relationship, she only has 50% capacity left before she's at 100. This is why I'm asking you, what do you want with the situation? Because I I feel like um I feel like she hasn't been completely direct in saying no. She doesn't necessarily want to kind of like pursue anything with you romantically. And I think that she's kind of, if I'm honest, from what I'm seeing, she's like keeping you on backup. That's the best way that I can put it. She's keeping you on backup. Um, uh, Don't be used to it. I mean, I understand it's probably like, yeah, women have a tendency, people, I can't even say just women, people have a tendency of kind of like um, treating situations like that. I think that you are an option in the situation and not necessarily a choice. I think that she has interest there, but I think she's, I'm not going to say feeling herself too much, but I think that she herself is in like a toxic situation, for lack of a better way of putting it. So she doesn't necessarily have the capacity for anything with you. Um, and I think as well with her situation, I think it is a case of like trying to avoid um, a disaster of a situation kind of like panning out. I think that she likes getting to know you. I think that she would, I want to say, would have been interested um, if there wasn't necessarily this emotional connection with this. I want to say, I think it's a long term partnership. I think it's a long term partnership that's kind of been like on and off, and it's been a little bit chaotic for a period of time. Um, if that wasn't a factor, I think that she likes you and I think that she's attracted to you, but I think that she is just willing to keep you as a choice at the minute, sorry, an option at the minute. And that situation would be the choice because it's familiar, for one. And also it's like she kind of knows, I guess, what she's getting with the situation. And I think as well, right, I'll say this, I think that she, and this is interesting, funny enough, I think that she she might be into assholes a little bit. She might be into assholes a little bit. And I can't put that any other way, because that's just how it's kind of like coming to me. Like she's kind of like low-key in a toxic situation, but she's used to being in these types of climates and dynamics. So it's just one of those things where you coming into the mix of it is only going to complicate things even more so. I would say you let the job go already. So you've already, I guess, phased out of that reality. Keep looking forward. The reason why I say that is because, again, as long as this other person chooses her or gives her any indication that they're still emotionally available to her, you'll always be like a second option. Okay. And you don't want to keep wasting your time in that kind of space as well. I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But that's just the reality of the situation. I think that she is, yeah, she's trying to kind of like possess, for lack of a better way of putting it, she's trying to possess your feelings towards her. Damn, that's what you said the last time, but I thought it was yeah, it's just the reality of the situation, baby. What I'd say is, like I said, you've been wise enough to remove yourself from the space and the situation, which is already an indication that you physically manifested out of that reality. Just keep it pushing forward. You're not necessarily going to find, I'm not going to say you're not going to find anything good there, because I think you'll have like some fun times, while she pretends to be interested in taking this somewhere long term and committal. But she doesn't really actually want to go any further, because she's still kind of like emotionally connected to that other situation, waiting for that situation to kind of give her green lights and stuff to be like 100% situation. And that's really her true desire. So let her focus on that. Let her give her energy to that. Let her give her space to that situation. Oh, sorry. I have to go back as well, because sometimes I'm like channeling and the stuff just comes out and I'm really trying to think. I said she's trying to, essentially, she would just be using your time and energy, basically. She'd be using your time and energy to feed her fear of loneliness. I was trying to like bring it back down. I was like, okay, just shut me out, please. Yeah. I was like literally going back there to try and bring the file back, booby. Okay. I'm like, what was the thought? But no, it'll be a waste of your time, in all honesty. And I say a waste of your time because I think that you're looking for something a little bit more, and I think you would invest more in her emotionally and otherwise. I mean, effort, time, resources. You would invest a lot more than she'd actually even be willing to give to the situation. So move forward progressively and keep yourself open. Yeah, keep it. I wouldn't say, yeah, I guess control your feelings, master them. Don't suppress them, master them. Like grieve the feelings, let her go, and grieve the letting her go situation, so that you can have room in your hard drive for like something new. Because if you kind of like control your feelings, you kind of basically like manifest someone in your reality who will basically do the same thing that you're trying to get away from with her. So process them feelings, okay? And just kind of like navigating through letting go of the situation, the possibility of what it could have been, the feelings that you invested in it, the attraction that you had. Like, talk yourself through all of the layers of these things and like purge it out your system. Don't just control the feelings, because you'll just suppress a lot of feelings and manifest exactly the same thing that you're trying to get away from now. That part. But I hope that was useful for you, Bobby. Okay, I hope that was it's going to help you to be able to kind of move forward. There is like progress on the other side of this, because you're already out of the situation. Like, take that in its stride. What's the advice for BB moving forward, guys? Oh, that's nice. Oh, do you know what? Is this the one that when we compared like the two girls last time, and I told you there's one who's like this and then there's the other who's like this? Is this the one that I told you that she was a no-go? Is AJ the one that I told you was a no-go? Let me know. But the angels are saying, like, look, plenty more fishes in the sea, okay? Abundance is yours. Snap, okay? And there's no need to worry about it. You'll be able to sort of like get more information on the situation. Like, as you move forward, you'll understand why this just wasn't the right situation at all. Okay. But I hope that was useful for you, Booby. Thank you for stopping in and checking in. I appreciate you. And I'm sorry that slim thick. That part. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's not going to materialize into something long term for you. I don't think that she has a capacity, and I don't think that you have that kind of I don't think it's healthy for you to kind of like invest in someone. It seems off balance. She wouldn't be giving as much into you as you'd be willing to sort of like put into the situation, so it would just drain you eventually. Okay. But yeah, sorry. Right, we're gonna move on to Miss Yaz. Dang, Miss Yaz, you had like a few questions in there. You said you wanted tarot and romance cards initially, right? I do remember. I remember talking about Slim Thick, and I remember speaking about someone else in the equation as well. I'm not all the way certain, because a lot of the times I channel a lot of the information. So as it flows through me, it's like a word vomit. So I don't remember like all the details of the reading and situation. But I do remember something about a slim thick, because I remember they were showing me something about that as well. So yeah. Sorry though. But you can move forward. I know it was like feelings got invested, I guess. But yeah, you're not like as deep as you possibly could be in those feelings just yet, because with time feelings like really grow. So at least you're at a good place to be able to kind of like nip certain things in the bud. Okay. Right. So yep, tarot and romance cards. First part of the question, should I move on from the guy I'm interested in? Okay, what's the other part of the question? Okay, she's typing it in. My bad. Like, my bad. I'm literally sat here like, okay, cool. Let's see. Was the slim thick the one that I told you not to go for, Booby? Sorry, going back to that because I saw you there. Like my mind's trying to like bring back up files from then, from like what 4 or 5 weeks ago, I think. Second part, future love. Is there any love or romance soon? Okay, let's dive into this. We'll start with the angel cards firstly. Oh, okay. Oh. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm like deciding what to kind of like go on. Yeah, beautiful. And I'm actually finishing up. I've been here for like 2.5 hours. Speaking to like Ariana. I'm sorry, beautiful. I hope you did enjoy the nap though. You know, I love me a good nap. Yeah. The list is closed and I'm about to like finish up. I think I got like one more after this and then I'm out. It's after 12 as well. It's after midnight. So I'm gonna finish up. But tune in next week. Honestly, the list got full before I even went live today. So like if you're gonna tune in next week, like maybe come in at like 7 or 8 because the list started to curate from early. So yeah. Sorry, beautiful. Right. So, right, we're gonna go with do you feel like Miss Yaz, what should she do in terms of the romantic connection that she's navigating now? Okay. 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 And what should be the final decision on the situation then, moving forward? What they're saying with the situation. Oh. That's how it goes, isn't it? When you're up, nobody's live, and then as soon as your eyes drop a little bit, now all of a sudden everybody's out here in these YouTube streets. Okay, so what I'm seeing with the situation, they're kind of saying, don't take anything too seriously with the situation. It's okay to kind of like flirt with this person and like engage in like, certain conversations, but for the most part, it's not really something that they're advising that you kind of like look at in terms of a long-term prospect with the situation. They're saying that as far as this developing into something like a relationship romantically, you'll be waiting for a really long time with that kind of situation. I don't necessarily see it developing into the kind of situation that you would hope for romantically, is what they're saying to me. But they said that you're still okay to kind of like, I guess, openly flirt with the situation, but not take anything too seriously from it. So they're saying not to invest too much into the situation, like creating a reality around this person in terms of your romantic vision of what you see for each other or for yourself with this person, because they don't necessarily have the intention to meet you where you're at with that vision. Their whole process on the situation, they don't necessarily, beyond pursuing this flirting dynamic, they don't plan to do anything beyond that, essentially. What do you see happening in terms of romance for Miss Yaz moving forward with this situation? What do you see? Thank you. Okay. Okay. Moving on from this situation then, what do you see happening for Miss Yaz romantically? Okay. What do you see happening for Miss Yaz romantically? Moving forward from this situation as well. Thank you. Okay. No, I hear you. I hear you, beautiful. I hear you. What they're saying with the situation, so it's funny because they're saying what romance moving forward. So let me put this into perspective for you. Sorry, my love, Roisin. The actual space is closed. I think there's like one person left on the list, and if she's not here, unfortunately, I am going to sign out because I'm like almost 3 hours in, unfortunately, but we'll see. So what they're showing me as far as like romance moving forward is that you ain't putting nothing in your romance life, okay? they're telling me you're not necessarily like you're not necessarily doing enough. And then also I think that they're saying as well, you're not putting yourself in the right places to meet the right kind of people, because your whole complaint on not necessarily like connecting with anyone is that you feel like maybe they're not vibrating on a certain frequency, or the conversations don't necessarily seem to be moving in a certain direction that makes you feel like, okay, I want to continue to get to know this person on a romantic level, right? There's like a meeting of the minds that doesn't necessarily happen for you a lot of the times, like when you meet people or prospects. And I think with that situation, right, they're saying like you're not necessarily putting yourself in the right places to meet the right people. So there's definitely going to be a delay on actually being able to have someone come in to go through the recovery process with you, whilst you kind of like, and I have to say recovery process with you because it's almost like when you get into the situation, there's like all these expectations that you kind of have to adjust to, because it is so funny. It's not to say that the okay, 6 to 7 months, okay, 6 to 7 months, yeah, that's been the complaint. 6 to 7 months, you're going to get an opportunity. It's not going to, so this one, it's not going to be like one of those situations that kind of plays out over the course of the next few months. This is something that goes on. I know. I know. Do you know what? There's another one as well. What's the B one? I can't remember. There's another one that also lets like the women pick, so you can actually go through, and you do the picking. I can't remember what it's called. Bumble. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Josemia, look at you. Sorry. Bumble. It is a long time. It is a long time. But this is why, because there's not really much like interaction, and then like it's a challenge for you to be able to like find the right prospect as well. Somebody that you're even like willing to get to know, because yeah, you're looking for something specific is what they're showing me. You're looking for something particular, and with that, it's gonna take being in the right place to find that type of person. So I think that things are going to sort of like move progressively for you over the course of the next few months, because I think this is a situation where you actually have to be at the right place at the right time. This is interesting. So there's a few things that's going to be unraveling for you in terms of like just life situations and circumstances. I think you yourself as well are going to be going through your own, like, this is when you meet this person, you're kind of like in your element of being a social butterfly, and you're kind of like yeah, like very engaging, very kind of open to being able to, thank you, Rasheen, um hoping that everything kind of, sorry, what I just read went into my hard drive at the same time. Yeah, you need to be in the right place at the right time. There's a lot of other factors to the situation that's actually going to be resolving itself during the course of the next 6 to 7. Exactly that. So there's a lot of things that's actually like all of those things. Listen, girl, you ain't got no time for like, listen. Well, to be fair, I was gonna say you haven't got any time to be able to kind of like invest in a romantic situation as well, but the way that the story tells itself, actually, that's one of the things that, you know, would kind of like in theory lighten the depression kind of thing, because it's one of the things that depression story is all about, like, oh well, my romantic life is here and this is what my romantic life situation looks like. So that definitely something, but I think spirit wants you to work through some of those feelings first, before you're even in a position. I think your circumstances shift as well. I want to say 5 months or so, 5.5 months or so from now, your circumstances, there's a lot of your circumstances that actually shifts. And I think that that's why you kind of like go through this mental clarity and you have this like breakthrough moments that take place between 6 to 7 months from now. Hey, Shakira. Hey, beautiful. Hope you're good. But yeah, they're saying it's not necessarily like anytime soon, but there's something on the cards once everything starts to sort of like clear itself up as well. There's some stuff from the past that you've got to declutter. This, where your circumstances right now will be your past circumstances then, and all of this stuff needs to be cleaned up first before you get over onto the other side of that. So yeah, I don't think they're saying that. I don't think you have the capacity emotionally for relationship stuff at the minute as well, like an actual like diving into it, having to consider somebody else's feelings, having to be attentive to their feelings, having to nurture their feelings, having to make yourself available for them emotionally, timing wise. Like at the minute, like you're still feeding into yourself, you're still kind of like pouring into yourself, and that needs to be the focus for you as you're kind of navigating through the process that you're navigating through right now. Like, let this stuff move, let this stuff pass first, because this is only going to bring you blocked emotions moving into a romantic situation anyways, because you'll be putting up all these walls against all of these battles that you're actually facing right now. just to be able to actually like navigate through a romantic space, but you don't have the capacity for it per se. The bandwidth is not giving, girl. You don't have the bandwidth, okay? So yeah, it's unfortunate, but they said if you want to keep like engaging with that situation, flirting with it, you can, but it's not going to like manifest into anything like materially long term. But once you kind of like move through all of this stuff, 5 to 5.5 months from now, and I want to say 5 to 5.5 months because they're showing me like specifically 5.5. So it's 5.5 months from now. A lot of this stuff is worked through. Circumstances have shifted. Life, like this tunnel that you're navigating through right now, you'll be on the other side of it. Okay. And then there's the room and capacity. Okay. That part. Awesome stuff. And I agree with you, Roshin, as well. That, listen, a lot of unhealed people walking around. I'm guilty of that as well. Okay. Sometimes you learn about places that you're broken that you didn't even realize you were broken. That part. No, it would cause me more hurt, me talking to him. Yeah. Well, jump off it then. Like, detach from it, and like treat the process like with care, because there were feelings invested. So it's like an emotional surgery. Yeah, treat yourself with some care as you navigate through the process as well. Okay. But that is it, beautiful. Thank you for your question. I don't even know if who was it? I forgot the name. Who was it? I think it was here. Here, are you here? Thank you, beautiful. Thank you for stopping in and chopping it up and sitting quietly there in the background. Dang. There is so much going on tonight as well, guys. I don't know if here is here, but if you're not here, here, are you here? Sorry. I'm a loser like that. I'm laughing because I think it's funny. If here's not here, Rasheen, I'd be willing to let you kind of get your reading. Okay. Are you still here, Rasheen? Let me know that because I'm about to start packing up now. I'm about to get excited that I'm about to go off duty, y'all. Don't gas me. Okay. Here, are you here? Rasheen, are you here? Okay. Look at God. Exactly. Look at God. Exactly. Here is not here. But I'm open to doing a little something for you, Rasheen. Okay, they're saying I need these 2 cards. So what was your question? I think you were asking about something. Good night, Miss Yaz. You too, man. Have a good night, girl. Thank you for hanging out with me this Friday. It's been so nice to come into these spaces. I feel this is like when I feel like my most self. Okay, because I come in here and y'all just accept me as I am. Okay, y'all take your girl as she is. I ain't gotta pretend to be nobody. I ain't gotta pretend like I don't read. I can just be me. Okay. Glad for that. Right, Rasheen, give me your question or your request and I will dive into it. I'll unpack it for you. I think you asked something about finances, didn't you? And we'll see how that goes. How is my finances looking this month? Feeling stagnant. Okay. Let's see. Right. Show me Rasheen's finances this month. What do you see happening? First and foremost, right? Oh, this is the last question, unfortunately, my love. This is the last question. I'm sorry. What's that, Manor? Yeah, I'm gonna head off now. I've been on here for so long. I shouldn't have even been in here for this long. I'm just recovering from surgery, but I was bored. All right, I'm gonna make it quick, and it's gonna have to be a quick one. I'm gonna unpack Rasheen's question, and then I'll give you a little something, but it's gonna be a quick reading because your girl's tired. Okay? Yeah. Put your question out there. So show me what's Rasheen's what's Rasheen's financial situation looking like for the. Thank you, thank you, Rasheen. Listen, it's a little bit of Jamaican mixed with British, mixed with some ratchet American. It's too funny. Right. Show me what the finances are looking like. It's so funny, right? Because when I like parted the deck, it showed me that like you're dealing with Nine of Pentacles energy in reverse. So it does let me know that you are dealing with some financial setbacks that you're navigating through this month. I think that there's like unexpected stuff that's kind of going on at the minute in that area. So let's see, what do we see happening for Rasheen's finances throughout this month? Make it clear, guys. Thank you. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what they're showing me is that Rashid said, "What's up, Yanni?" Hey, don't know. Don't know. Oh, that's too funny. That is too funny. Look, they're saying to me with the situation with the finances at the minute, it's so interesting because it seems like there might be some unexpected situations, I guess, that's kind of like what you're sensing at the minute, what you're sensing, because you can feel it. You can feel it lingering, right, beneath the surface there. You can navigate through the situation. It is going to take a lot of strategizing, and you're going to have to like figure out, you're going to have to be assertive. That's for one. Okay. In terms of like how you're navigating through the situation, because it's almost like, yeah, it's like everybody wants something. And I know obviously like our bills come in like clockwork, but it's like there's something that's unexpected. It's like something that you thought, isn't necessarily a factor that kind of comes up randomly on the situation, even though you know that you were supposed to be preparing for it for at least like the last 2 months or so. It just shows up and it becomes like at the top of the priority list all of a sudden. So that's going to be something that you need to sort of like keep in mind. They're also saying with the situation as well, you'll be emotionally collected about it. It's just a case of like planning and figuring out how to utilize your resources. You are, however, going to feel like there is a lack of progress when it comes to certain things that are supposed to be coming through, certain, like, I want to call it projects because it feels like investments. Like, I don't know if you've learned something here, or you've put some money here, or you invested something here, or I don't know what it is, but they're showing me like that is going to be like stagnated a little bit throughout this month, because that pot is not to be used while all of the calamities that are going to show up this month shows up. Okay. What they're saying is that you actually have the ability to navigate through this situation that you can sense is coming. What's the actual guidance for Rasheen in navigating through the situation? Oh, that's nice. It's actually an opportunity to kind of like improve the health of the situation. Okay. So as you're kind of like navigating through all of these challenges, I guess, because it's going to be about like juggling and prioritizing and stuff. You'll need to actually, sorry. Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. We just block them. Ain't nobody got time. Okay, take that stuff elsewhere. I used to allow like, grace periods for these things, but I'm over it. Like, these trolls can find another bridge to hang under. So, yeah, they're saying that this is going to be an opportunity for you to be able to kind of like improve the situation for yourself 3 months down the line. This month, however, it's going to be a little bit strenuous. 2 to 3 months from now, I say 2 months because it's going to feel like you're finally starting to get up from the situation this month. And then by the 3rd month, it's like you can stand again and you're back on your feet. Okay. So just take your time with the process as you navigate through the situation. Kill. Right, Manor, are you still there? Did you put your question in the chat? What's up? If you're not, I'm leaving. I'm going to start packing up the cards. And if you don't have your question in the chat by the time I get to my tarot, I will be signing out. Oh, thank you, Rasheen. Thank you. I'm glad that it was useful and helpful for you. Just take your time with it. This month is not like it's showing up how it's supposed to, because there's like, it's not just this month that you're living. Do you know what I mean? This month is only a temporary aspect of your entire story. So in a couple of months from now, things will start to kind of like, you start to like build yourself back up on tackling that mountain. And then by the time you're like 3 months ahead of where we are now, your future self 3 months from now will be like, okay, cool. I get it. That needed to happen. And I needed to kind of get to this part so I can know how to make this decision here. Okay. Right. Manor, what is your question? Put it out there and I will utilize the tarot to unpack it. Thank you, Manor. I can't tell because it's showing me like no one's online. I wouldn't have thought that you were in here. Okay. Right, we're going to wait for Manor to sort of like enter their question. Yeah, that's all you can do at the minute. I think that God's like doing quite a bit at the minute. Like there's so many new things that like God's trying to do for us right now. So I think we just kind of, that's all we can do. Keep those faith seeds kind of growing, keep nurturing those faith seeds and really just kind of cultivating them. What are Wahid's current feelings towards me? Okay. Wahid's current feelings towards Manor. Yeah. We want to know, how does Wahid feel towards Manor at the minute? No. How does Wahid feel towards Manor at the minute? Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to clarify with some romance cards. I just packed that up, so I got to get that out again. Please clarify. Are you guys in separation? Sorry, that was for you, Manor. Are you guys currently in separation? Because what they're showing me at the minute with the situation is that I'm literally getting off. I'm sorry, Cleopatra's. Predictions by G2 AI. Gajarabasa? That's a whole temple. Thank you, Cleopatra, for like stopping in. I appreciate you. Okay. Because that makes sense. They're showing me that there's a element of separation where you guys aren't necessarily together just yet. I think that they're a little bit shy and insecure, I guess, is probably the best way that I can put it. Like emotionally insecure about how things may play out with the situation. I feel like they feel like things at the minute seems to be very passive. Like nobody's actually like doing anything or saying anything. Nobody's actually sort of like making an effort at the minute. And I think that they're a little bit insecure about how things might play out if they do invest in making effort. Like, will it be reciprocated? Where's your feelings on the situation? Do you even want them to actually make an effort with the situation? Have you moved on? Like, there's so many questions with the situation, right? And I think that their current feelings on the situation is that they're insecure about this passive experience that you guys are having, where there isn't like open dialogue and communication. And it's kind of low key making them feel as though they don't want to be able to kind of like come forward. He knows that there's an attraction. I feel like he senses that there's an attraction, but I feel like there's some insecurities around the situation because I think that he doesn't even really necessarily know how to approach the situation, if anything, as well, because it's a little bit like unfamiliar territory. So yeah. Yeah, I think they aren't necessarily sure how to actually deal with the situation themselves. I don't think that they're going to be sort of like making any efforts to come forward, just because that I guess if you add them, see if they sort of reciprocate the energy and kind of like progress from there. Dang, I thought you said one question, Manor. I think I wouldn't say that he watches you, but I do think that sometimes he can kind of like go and check stuff out sporadically on social media, just like when he's scrolling and stuff, if you come to mind. He's not necessarily obsessive about it or anything like that. I think that this situation is going to be on a standstill for a little while, for a long while, let me say, because they didn't say little, for a long while, because there's attraction there, but there isn't really much of a making an effort just yet. Okay. Yeah, I guess it will kind of like give you an indication of, it gives him an indication that he's got the green lights to be able to kind of like communicate with you and that you're open to being able to sort of like communicating. But they're still going to be a little bit awkward initially. Until they kind of like suss out the space a little bit, because they might feel a little bit like cautious in navigating through the space initially. So yeah, I think it gives them a good indication that there's interest. So it's like, okay, cool, come pursue now. And then I guess it's up to them to be able to kind of like gather up their spirit of courage to make that pursuance, right? That part. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was useful for you, because I know, I know you had so many other questions in there with the situation, but your girl's got to go bed. It's like almost 1 a.m. Not that I'm an early sleeper anyways, but you know, I at least need to like sit and do nothing, decompress my mind. But thank you, Manor. Thank you for stopping in, and I guess making room for your reading to actually be facilitated. So I appreciate that. On that note, I'm going to love you guys and leave it there for you. I think Cleopatra's left as well, I'm assuming. I wouldn't have had the capacity. Honestly, guys, I'm drained. I'm surprised that I even managed to get through this. Right now, I'm going to go and give myself a pat on the back in the mirror and tell myself I did a good job, okay? Because I was only supposed to be here for like half the time that I was here. That part. On that note, guys, I'm gonna love you guys and leave it there for you guys. I'll see you guys next Friday. Same time, same place. Sure, guys.
Things they said to hold her back, they never seem to leave her head and tend to keep her mind at war. All the things they said to hold her back, they keep her locked inside of all the times when she's been hurt before.
Bye, guys. Catch you guys next Friday. Enjoy.